We come to the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in F1 24 career mode after a very messy Italian GP, wanting to bounce back and
Alright, get ready to jump out if you get too hot in there. There's a problem with the cooling system and it's going to take us a few minutes to correct it.
And of course, everyone knows that's the best way to bounce back. Immediately start the next episode and race weekend with a cooling system fault in qualifying. I really hope that's not a bad omen for things to come, because yeah, it wasn't. I mean, overall we recovered somewhat in that Italian Grand Prix, but it was overall not my best race weekend in the season in this Red Bull. It was quite a messy one, and we were lucky to recover to where we are. Oh, and by the way, it's raining here in Baku, so cooling system fault, raining quali at a street circuit where the walls are so close and you're that close away from having a DNF. What could possibly go wrong? Thankfully, I think it's going to be all dry for the race. Otherwise, that would have been quite a tough one. I think this circuit, honestly, is one of the hardest places if you have a wet race, because the concentration needs to be at an absolute maximum every single lap, especially with the 90-degree corners that this place has. It's a very slow first lap. Honestly, just a banker. We put enough fuel in to go for consecutive laps, so we'll do another second lap, just recharging the battery, basically, and then we go again for our third lap, but it's our technical only second flying lap, if that makes sense, and almost immediately picking up so much time just on throttle out of turn one, up to about 3 to 4 tenths, losing a little bit though with some wheel spin, which you can audibly hear as we come out the corner. But the track evolution is pretty mad as Ocon is out. We're 8 tenths up, but that is a crash in qualifying for Ocon in the usual place maybe where mistakes can be made. He's locked up, he's gone straight on, and the Frenchman is out here of qualifying at Baku. Thankfully, we can carry on. There is no game mechanic in the F1 game for a yellow, you know, red flag or anything like that in qualifying. There definitely should be for moments like that, because that would add jeopardy and realism to the qualifying in F1 games, but there's not, so we can carry on. It's a purple middle sector, green last sector, but only good enough for P10, which shows how competitive the grid is, and also maybe how much time we're losing in the last and first sector. If we went purple middle and still only went P10, and to be honest, the entire session is confusing me in terms of how much time we're gaining, because apparently we gained about 2 tenths there, even though I went so deep, far off circuit in the entry point, and then the exit, we're 8 tenths up, and yet it said yellow, yellow. So the timing was incredibly glitched, I felt, in that qualifying session. I feel like it may have had something to do with Ocon crashing, I don't know, but after Ocon's crash, the timing ladder just didn't seem to add up, basically. And so in the end of it, it's horrible. P15, Verstappen P11. I mean, Verstappen will be seeing that and thinking, well, join the party, mate. I mean, this is where I've been for the last couple of races. But Lewis Hamilton up there on pole position, though, is Nico Hülkenberg. Not for the first time in the season, remember. He had that pole in Imola, and it was taken away because of an engine penalty. Ollie Behrman in second place, impressing again over one lap at a very different circuit, very different conditions compared to Monza. So off the back of that engine failure, he's going to be quite buoyed with that as a good return to form. Sonoda P3 just ahead of Lewis, you may have seen as well. So that's going to be the real focus, I guess, at the front until hopefully myself and Verstappen can climb up. That's the hope. But only 2 points between Hamilton and Sonoda. Sonoda 1 place ahead on the starting grid. So he's on the front foot. Can he convert that then to then take the lead of the Drivers' Championship for the very first time, I think? Because I think Lewis, through all the ups and downs, has been leading this championship for pretty much this entire season, but Sonoda's just been kind of, yo-yoing with how close he is, and we have been getting closer and closer, and we are now within 9 points of the top. That's the closest we've been. So despite qualifying quite low, the spirits are very high. It's going to be a dry race, so I think we can do something well. Let's go to the grid.
Good afternoon and welcome from Baku. This was the arena, if you think back to 2017, of one of the most eventful races of modern history, with controversy behind the safety car, last-second overtakes, and a historic podium for Williams and for Lance Stroll. Let's find out what lies in store for us this year. It's time for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix.
This grid slot seems awfully far back, so far back that we're actually in line with the checkered white line that the finish line will be denoting on the last lap. Here's hoping by the time we cross this for the last time today for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we're firmly in the points. More so, we're actually near to a Toyota and maybe outscoring them, but it will be tough. It's not a given. But we've just got to back ourselves that we can come through in this Red Bull. And Baku, although it is a street circuit, it can be difficult at times to pass. We also have the long main straight on our side. Hopefully we can just get in that rhythm, get in that toe constantly and make the moves when they count as we go to 5 red lights for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Lights out here in Baku, and it's a good getaway for us versus Logan Sargent. A lot of cars ahead of us getting a great getaway as well, as it's 4 wide up ahead. We're having to face a little bit of ping-ponging from left to right of the McLaren and the Mercedes. We actually get squeezed out by Checo and Ricciardo. So in the end of it, we've actually ended up 1 place back from our grid slot in P15 rather than gaining, because we overtook Sargent, but then both me and Sargent got passed by Ricciardo and Perez as it's all kicking off ahead. There's a couple of cars going side by side, and that's all concertinaing everyone. It's Sainz versus Alonso, the 2 fellow countrymen, as we are still trying to just finish this move off on Checo Perez in the McLaren. We've got Ricciardo. We'll squeeze out Perez and get up into P13. So it's been a so-so opening lap. Would have liked a couple of more positions in there as Hulkenberg sets the fastest lap for, well, I hope for his sake that's a fastest lap, because he's still leading the way then in P1 as we try and go from left to right on Russell and can't make the overtake, frustratingly. Our former Season 3 teammate annoying us quite a fair bit into turn 1. I thought that move, honestly, was going to be a given. Maybe naively and a bit, egotistically thinking that we would easily pass Russell. And instead, we're kind of patiently waiting for the right time as Russell's tucked up behind Sainz and Alonso. So even when we do pass Russell, we'll have the 2 Spaniards blocking us as we dive it down the inside, getting oh so close you could fit a piece of paper between my front left tyre and Russell's side pod as we dance our way through the left and right shimmy and shake up to P12. But now we've got to pass the Ferrari, who is struggling to get past Fernando Alonso. The 2 Astons doing all right for themselves in the bottom end of the points. But yeah, Nico Hulkenberg does in fact lead, and lead convincingly. 2.3 seconds on lap 2. Are you crazy? Nico Hulkenberg, is he about to dominate the Azerbaijan Grand Prix? He's already won his first ever Formula 1 Grand Prix in this very season at the Spanish GP, and you might remember he pretty much dominated that one. So Hulkenberg feeling up for it today. Tsunoda P2 though. Let's talk about that. That's massive for him versus Hamilton. And then let's talk about Verstappen P18. What is going on, man? What is going on? This is just ridiculous. Oh, engine failure for an Audi, but this is just ridiculous. Like, Verstappen, an AI of Verstappen's caliber, how high he's rated in a career-defined rivalry with his own teammate, he should not be performing this badly. I'm sorry. At this point, I'm just pointing out, and this series and this season is pointing out the major flaw again with the AI. Not only can they not race wheel to wheel, they get stuck in DRS trains. What is going on with when you become someone's teammate? They just don't perform as well as they ever did as an AI rival in a different team, for example. The mind boggles at what's going on with Verstappen. He started off so strong in this season, and now I know he had a penalty, I assume, to start this race, so he was already further back, but yeah, he's going to be stuck in that traffic, I bet you, for the entire race, as meanwhile, we are catching up to Alonso. Sainz has actually dropped him, so that's actually opened up now the opportunity to overtake. Yellow flags for something behind as we make that move on Fernando Alonso up to P11, that is, as Hulkenberg, his gap is coming down slightly as Tsunoda tries to catch him. Hamilton looking for the pass on Ollie Behrman, who's doing well in the high-tech right now for the top 3. And then there's a ferocious little battle going on between Leclerc, Norris and Piastri, and there's going to be, double lock-up from Piastri. That could have been horrendous. How has he kept that going, as it was 3 abreast for Albon, Norris and Leclerc, and in the end the Ferraris come out worse, and it's Norris that will stay ahead of Albon. But Piastri giving me a bit of a heart attack there, because usually a double lockup at that corner means you're going straight on at the runoff area. So he's done well to get out the lockup and get the tyres rotating. As lap 7, Behrman actually being passed for P2. So at some point off camera, we didn't see it, but Behrman overtook Tsunoda. So the high-tech genuinely has got some good race pace around Baku, as it did until it blew up around the Italian Grand Prix. Tsunoda gets back into second. Hamilton, here he goes. Hamilton going for the move. Behrman going for the move. Look at that. Oh my God. Incredible aggression from the AI here today. Oh no. No. Behrman. Oh, what have they done to you, man? Oh, red flag. Of course there is. It's a pile-up. It's a multiple car pile-up. Oh, that is just such a shame. That's a shame. That is the over-aggression from Behrman. Maybe, again, a lack of experience in that case to go for that inside line. But then also, it's just a racing incident. It's not really his fault, because it's the nature of the corner. You do get pinched in. He goes to the left. Hamilton to the right. 3 wide was never going to work, and he's too close to the wall. He's too close to the wall. But I'll tell you what, I criticised the AI just before. That was pretty cool. That was really awesome to see Hamilton tuck in behind Behrman, pull out for the move on Tsunoda on the right, but then Behrman so aggressively moved left and very lifelike, you know, tried to shimmy himself down the inside, and Tsunoda reacted. So that was actually quite cool to see. But now the red flag is out because of that pile-up then. And it looks like it'll just be hard tyres to the end, surely, for most, apart from Perez, who has chosen the soft tyre. But as we go to 5 red lights, we're underway here in Baku again from P9. It is going to be a pretty straightforward strategy to the end, but my oh my, nothing is straightforward about that start, as we almost careered right into the back of 2 Aston Martins. And that was my Hamilton moment there, if you remember. What was it, 2021? That Mark Webber scream into turn 1. I just pictured Mark Webber at that very moment when we had that double lockup, and our brakes are still locking quite a fair bit. Ocon! Ocon spun us! Ocon, what are you doing, man? What are you doing? Red flag for the second time here in Baku, and it's because Ocon has spun us round. What was that from the Frenchman? He's had a very messy Azerbaijan Grand Prix weekend, a crash in quali, and then, that's just a bit too audacious. Come on, I know I've locked up and gone wide, but you are never going to make the corner there, son. What is going on? So, second red flag in quick succession. We just got past Sector 1 on that other red flag restart. So it's a second red flag in a row, lap to lap. And so it's just another decision to go on to another set of hard tyres. Pretty simple. But it seems nothing else is simple here around Azerbaijan as we go to 5 red lights for the 3rd time today in today's episode. Lights out, and away we go again from P9. Alonso just keeps jumping up the order. He's up to P7. It's 3 wide. Alonso dives down the inside of Piastri and Albon. We've gone round the outside of Carlos Sainz, but Fernando Alonso, he's made the most of these red flags. He's gone from being behind me in P11 to he's now P5, but there's a 5-second penalty for Piastri, and I think that was Albon as well, potentially, as we go round the outside of Oscar Piastri, and the Haas Cadillac inches away from his car and inches away from the wall on the right. But it's a good overtake eventually, big old dive bomb into that brake zone to kind of, you know, overcompensate to make sure we get ahead of the Australian, as meanwhile in the lead his teammate is leading, but for how much longer? Because Lewis Hamilton is getting up into 1st. Tsunoda is down to 3rd. So for the entire first stint, Tsunoda looked like the lead Toyota. He looked like he had good pace, trying to bother Hülkenberg, but through these red flags, Hamilton has now ended up in 1st, but Tsunoda is not going to go down without a fight. Look at the movement going on here. Hamilton defends the inside, but Tsunoda goes round the outside of 2 cars. What a move! What a move for Yuki Tsunoda. Double overtake to take the lead of the Grand Prix. That was unbelievable. I'm very impressed by Yuki-san. What a great overtake that is, as Piastri's got me, by the way. Tried to fight it, got a little bit crossed up under braking, but it's a 1-2 for Toyota. Tsunoda ahead of Hamilton, and if it ended like this, Tsunoda would take the lead of the Drivers' Championship. I think, let's rub our hands together, everyone. I think we've got a real good race on our hands. It's a 1-2 for Toyota. That's not great for me, but for their championship fight as two teammates, this is about to get damn tasty, I think, as we go for the move on Piastri, trying to get up. Oh! No! Oh my god, in the middle of all of this! Oh, there's another twist in the tail, and it's going the wrong way for Yuki Tsunoda. He had just made an unbelievable double overtake for the lead, and now his engine is given up. It's what you hate to see, especially when it's two teammates fighting in the same machinery. One of them gives out, and Hamilton now has an easy run to the finish line. Tsunoda's out. Surely that's going to be a massive dent and nail in the coffin for Tsunoda's championship chances. We've only got, what, like 4 races left. After this one, I think. I almost lost count of where we are in the season, to be honest, but that surely might be championship over for Tsunoda, and for me, to be fair, because I'm only in P6 and Hamilton now will have an easy run to the win. I mean, we've got Albon with a penalty, so myself and Alonso probably will jump Albon by the end of the race, no matter what, just because of his 5-second penalty. So we're actually going aggressive, trying to overtake Alonso, because I want to be in a prime position to benefit from that Albon penalty as we squeeze Alonso, but he's just defiant in his defense. We tried the switchback, and I get absolutely done. I get rinsed by my own driving because I just got it all crossed up on the curb. It's, we clearly haven't shaken off the messiness from the Italian Grand Prix, because we're still not driving amazing right here in Baku as we finally get the move. Oh, look! Lando's also got a penalty. This is big. This is big for us, actually, because with Albon and Norris with 5-second penalties, as we come on to the last lap of the Grand Prix, Hamilton will definitely be winning this Grand Prix. Hulkenberg is holding on to second, but it won't matter really if he gets overtaken, because both Norris and Albon with penalties, all I have to do is sit here in P5 and we'll be collecting a 3rd place. But Lewis Hamilton, this race right here might be the turning point for the entire championship battle in the drivers' standing, because Lewis Hamilton is coming through for another win this season for Toyota in Baku, while Tsunoda is out with an engine failure. I'm only going to manage 3rd place because of the penalties of Norris and Albon, and it's going to be all in Hamilton's favour standings-wise after this.
And extending his already record-breaking winning record, it's Lewis Hamilton to the line for victory.
Well, another race victory today. You could clearly see they're driving out there with very little pressure. You know, they know they have the performance. They know they've got the car under them as well. And this has done no harm, of course, for their championship chances.
Yeah, you know what? We entered this race 9 points off Lewis. We have now actually overtaken Tsunoda. We're 2nd in the standings because of his DNF, but we're a whopping 20 points back now from Lewis. That's what a race win can do for you when your rival comes 3rd. We've gone from feeling quite bullish about the championship chances, maybe outside chance, to I'm now back to square one, kind of. I don't think we're in the title fight. Let's just try and have some fun and get the maximum out of these races to finish out the season. We've at least won. We've won our career-defining rivalry with Max Verstappen. That's pretty damn big news. So that's a whopping amount of XP for our ratings. But that's a big race for Lewis Hamilton. That might be very important for this season. Guys, if you have enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit the like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content. I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.